Adesmama Premo ato ewo UTV so ye de Freship House Abeka Junction Accra ena ye de ebremo manemo wo office ahodo ena afei afiefie mu enyumakuo bia da Roma no maso yasene ama ye de awia prem to breka se eboyi ye de free UTV so e de ebremo ye de sweet chocolate drink and awia ide ohia enso hie kakra bi a wo de be mixe ana wo be kan nu mu ama no anane no na wape ice cubes de agum eboa papa wonom a eye energy prekope ma wa hoden e ma wutimi to awadwuma so e na Ghana kokoo ne de aye enti ye betimi akase eye aduane prekope unya bibi kakra pastries bi de boso a eno so ya na ekoyie papa afa ye was special ice mineral water ensukrogin a ensukom de wo a eno so ubetimi anum bie ewia na ebo enti se ensukom de wo apɛ no utwa wani a na eye special ice mineral water na wo se opɛ na wonom ye was special drinks and so wo ho a eye anonom de ebi wo fi a eye enkwada ne di agro mfifre ti wo mo a eboa wo mo pa e mo ma ho de ne san ba mfifre na eti wo mo no ene se de esitie bia no ekoyie papa e de ma abusuamu ni nyina wo so a wa ye adwuma wa bre no wonya special energy na se wo no mo a eno so eboa ye wo best point savings and loans best assurance ena ye wo best pension wo mo ani enyumaku a wono masomasene ama Midday prem to breka se boyi ebremo na de edimu akotene bi ene se Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ena wo chese enei won mo ewo bia west wo mo hwe na wo mo ndane wo mo nsa no na wo mo nto abanfama MPP amanyoku no kane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama no ka kire special prosecutor say ema no emfa Agyapa deal no emfa metoto airbass ho na ne nyina no enye pa bia nko ene ne nsem a wode enam sanso ena IGP ene ya ye ka say wode bambo won nsem ato edwa a wo kire omanfo sede enhyehyeye ne titi abra ye ba beto aba ya to aba na wie ni abato na chi no eno so ho asem ye de ebeba ye wie ana ye kọ America minimo yenim se wo mo ato aba ehun sunsanso no sen e na akwakosi ye de update no so ebebre mo midi e de Akosua Sarpong me e na mede awia prem to breka se boyi ebre mo afa ye nhwe de edimu akotene ebie IGP Yera James Sarpong buanu na ye kase ye yi wode ensam ahodo ato nsentwerefo anim ni nyina no election security task force na chese ebambofo a wo mo ebehwe ama abato atimi akoso ho hyehyeye se de ebambo won nsam ebesi atoto no wone nsentwerefo adi hu nkomo ye to abayi ye beto awie ani abato na chi ni nyina no o cheche nsem.
Ladies and gentlemen, 62,794 security personnel from the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Fire Service, the Ghana Prison Service, the Ghana Immigration Service, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Ghana Armed Forces are being deployed for the elections. All the personnel that I've mentioned will be in their regular uniforms, with the exception of officers from the Criminal Investigation Department and of the Police Service and the Bureau of National Investigations, who will remain invisible in courts. We will adopt a 4-tier approach of starting duties of policing the ballot at all the 33,367 police stations, revised to 40,000 recently, and 275 collation centers. Patrols, rapid response, and standby forces to provide swift action when the need arises. Ladies and gentlemen, personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces, together with operational units of the Ghana Police Service, who will be fully armed, will execute the patrol and rapid response and standby duties, while the static duties are performed by the police and the 4 security agencies that I've already mentioned. For identification purposes, a special amulet will be worn by officers deployed for election duties on election day. We shall also carry on with our everyday duties of preventing crime, protecting lives and property, apprehending offenders, and generally maintaining law and order so that people can continue to go about their various lawful activities in a safe and secure environment. Ladies and gentlemen, personnel of the Bureau of National Investigations will continue with their usual duties of complementing intelligence efforts to deal with general incidents of crime, vigilantism, or terrorism that could spring up before, during, or after the elections. These arrangements will help us to arrest any person or group of persons who attempt to obstruct the election process, intimidate or harass people, or do anything to disturb the peace, security, and stability of this country. On the issue of resources required for our work, agencies forming the Election Security Task Force are equipped and ready to do our job. I have visited all the 16 regions of this country with a team to see for myself the readiness and capability of the police regional commands to lead other sister security agencies in the regions to police the ballot. During these visits, I also interacted with officers of all ranks on a variety of subjects, including how they are psychologically prepared for the task. And I'm satisfied that we are ready. The few gaps witnessed from the visits have been filled. However, a few remain which we are yet to fill before election day, and I can assure you that that will be done. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching all polling stations as potential flag points. However, we have identified 6,178 flash points nationwide. The flash points were decided based on a number of factors, such as incidents recorded in previous elections, this year's voters registration exercise, and crime rates and other factors relating to those centers. As a result, our approach in these areas will be slightly different from other areas. Saturated patrols and standby forces may be visible to prevent any mishap. Hotspots and strategies for handling them will be reviewed based on emerging trends or issues.
Afeye ko bia ise no ewo atoye etifi mantemu mechira Western North region. Eho ena Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia okopie mu ewo ho. Wode enefua mienu ene course amensini no okopie mu ewo sehwi adabo krom ne no ena oka kire omanfo semfishi aduonu nwotwe na omato abama NDC saa we de ewo mo ensesa wo mo nsa no.
28 years ni mon vote ma MPP da presidential and parliament yet to abade bia mon vote tia MPP enya sa me minti asie 28 years mon vote ma NDC no de be mfaso kwa na omodi abre en wo bia Diebe mpuntu kra na omodi abre. Omobreso district court ni ho. Police headquarters ni ho. National health insurance ni ho. Ya kwan nyina say district hospital ni ho. National service secretariat ni ho. Moni doctor wa ha. Entem bebri eni ho. Na adenti na ye vote avati ama party kuro na enye ejuma mai enye za sana ye papa nom ka se uko jomba ko de bia na wan ko testi jomba ko so a onhu de ewo mfaso enye za senti ade a me de bebe sremo no eni se afi we die bia is yensisem na monko MPP jom no na mo be hu se ampa joma de pa mo be hu se joma de pa but if you na ya wo aban mu monyina betimi di adansie se ye di impuntu ejuma babia is engesa district court no ye si enchebia ye bewie police headquarters so ye si National Health Insurance Office no ye di staff beba ebe starti ye road network no so ya kwan no ye be ye say Monday District Hospital. And but Nana Akosua say one district, one hospital. Yeah, planning na second term. Mubenya District Hospital, Wabia East.
Toman Ford weni edi echira Agyapa deal eye asemba kwa aba beto ho a obia eka special prosecutor kwa koye ni hwehwemu awie abra wo de report no eba ye ni mu ensem ne sede esi ekone no ene nam so aman ka ne mampanyi John Dramani Mahama wono so de na no atomu ebie wo je se Agyapa deal no ma special prosecutor wonfa enkoforfor eye eba se ho ensensem na yenti sede osi echiremu
Amidu goes and presents Agyapa shares. Agyapa investigation, and I thought he was man enough. You go, they say investigate Agyapa, present a report in Agyapa. If you've investigated Airbus, present a report on Airbus. But in the Agyapa report, you know that it's going to be damning of this government. You go and put one paragraph there about Airbus. Nobody asked you about Airbus. If you were man enough, present Agyapa and do a report on Airbus, separate. And then I'll come as a man and answer you on Airbus. If you think that I'm indicted on Airbus, accuse me directly. But because he's a coward, and they knew that Agyapa was going to be discussed today, so put a paragraph on Airbus to equalize the discussion. You are investigating Agyapa. Present a report in Agyapa. Why? Because you know Agyapa is going to be discussed. You've indicted the president's cousin as finance minister, and you are afraid that you are presenting only a report on Agyapa. So in the Agyapa report, put some other reports that balance the equation. I thought he was man enough. Come out. The point is, you say I'm the leader of a political party. I say, if you have a legal basis for investigating me, go ahead and investigate me. There's been a DPA, a deferred protection agreement. You are not a party to it. You don't know who are involved in it. They've identified some people in it. You don't have an authenticated agreement from SFO or from whoever is involved in it. And you say, I surmise that government official one is so. Somebody is so. But you see, the thing is, his office is important because the investigation they did on Agyapa is not a surprise. I said it this morning. Anything that was in Agyapa, we had already said. The minority gave a long submission on it and said we oppose it. We walked out because we said it was vitiated with corruption. I spoke on it. I said if I become president, I'll cancel it because it's vitiated with corruption. So if Mati Hamidu comes out with a report corruption, it shouldn't be a surprise to us because we knew that already.
Wasan semia ho ena onimonyamfo Haruna Idris ono eye edom kuma ba no dani ono so akasa fa ho na nsem ne se we die se die special prosecutor ede aba no wama wono mu afi asema na omo kanyina no ene da ho na enya de a won beta akire enne ochena anase daachi bia yenimu ana daachi bia bebe bia nya de a womo ebeta akire no nti ene o maka se sa Agyapa deal no enya de a eye enti ye montu
cannot remedy the defects of the transaction in any way possible. That is why we question the transaction. In any case, what is government desperately looking for $500 million for? What do they want the money for? What is the national need? What is the emergency for which we must borrow? From a transaction that we earn without borrowing, gold contribute 4% to our national revenue. government without Agyapa earns $130 million annually from gold revenue, and just 10 of the mineral mining companies make significant contribution to our total revenue. Parliament cannot remedy the defects so identified by the special prosecutor. How is Parliament going to cure nepotism and cronyism? How is Parliament going to cure that you appointed a chief executive without due process? How is Parliament going to cure that you pass a resolution on a non-existing law? You don't build a house on nothing. It was built on nothing. So how is Parliament going to cure that a motion is moved and the motion is amended at the very time it was to be adopted to make room to wait for a president to assent to a bill so passed by Parliament? We feel strongly vindicated. The truth must always stand with the political minority at all times, and Ghanaians will now understand why momentarily I lost my cool and temperament for an important national matter of this character and nature. You find a minister of state trivialize it with Papano at that time, not concerned about the weight and magnitude of this particular transaction. You want to take gold revenue for the next 10, 15 years. What does that mean to the state? What does it mean to chiefs and people who earn a portion of the Mineral Development Fund? Government ministers were joking and reduced that transaction to a trifle.
James Nani awo emrashe bedwam bedwa wo mo ehwe sikasem eso Dr. Mark Esibe yebo no so akasa de afa wo se ono so kasa free edom kese no famu ho ono so che se working kai sa report na wo mo de eba ye no a na special prosecutor na adwuma na oyeye no atosini.
Is the special prosecutor, or did he say that the Public Procurement Authority didn't do their work well? I didn't read that from him. 8 firms put in applications and 2 were shortlisted. I think Morgan Stanley and Imara have local partners. Morgan Stanley's local partner was Ballot and Imara's was the data bank. That's the evidence adduced so far, and I haven't read anything to the contrary. Why you don't determine who Imara wants to be their local partner? They have decided that Data Bank is going to be our local partner. Did we choose Boulders for Morgan Stanley? These are firms that have done business in the Ghanaian economy for years, and they have local partners they deal with. I haven't read anything from Matiami that suggests that there was some corrupt practice or there was something untoward in all of this transaction. You are a special prosecutor. You have to pronounce on this with definitely that yes, there was corruption, there was bid rigging, there was this. I haven't seen anything reported from the special prosecutor who says that the choice of Imara by PPA was corrupt. What he's saying, and which baffles my mind, is that Imara were paid in dollars, and to the extent that Data Bank is a local entity and there was no specification as to how Imara was going to reimburse Data Bank, then it means all of the flows Imara were inevitably going to end up. All of these are conjectures, hypothetics. They don't go anywhere. They won't stand in the court of law. Nowhere. They won't end up anywhere. I don't know. Look at what he has put together. He's doing a disservice to the country. So you are doing a corruption risk analysis, assessment, if you like. In the end, now he's talking about who is government official one. Like, seriously. This is a corruption risk assessment on the Agyapa transaction. Read the report, and now he's talking about the EU group, what he's doing elsewhere. Then why didn't he give us an update on all the work that he's doing? I think he hasn't helped himself by putting out this horrible piece of work together. For the approval process to start over, Parliament doesn't work that way. Ask my colleague in your studio. When Parliament pronounces on the matter, when a motion is carried, a resolution thereof, that is the end of the matter. If a fresh application comes, then Parliament will consider it. To all intents and purposes, the Agyapa deal is a closed chapter. If the presidency or the ministry or the government, for that matter, intends to bring a fresh matter and improvement on whatever, then the Parliament will consider. Parliament cannot go back and say that we are going to reconsider this because the president says we should do. Maybe the presidency has intentions of resubmitting some additional information, which we would consider, but I don't see this way anyway.
Afeyenko Mfimfini Mantemu Awutu Senya West Mensin Mabanka Chepanyini a wo ho eye onwonyam for Stephen Kwame Kwe na wonom akọ health work womko nante ni nyina ne se wo ka kire omanfo so omonto aba hemfama na adodankwa akufuado na afe womonto aba nso ma onwonyam for George Nanyin anda ono na eye incumbent MP ewo ho
ye sheki kre ye ne youth ni shia ani ye die jogging na enam kwan so ne yeda nyoma bebredi a yaye omo ankasa omunim nti omo apo na efrɛ sɛ ye ne ombehia ejiri sɛ asetra ne yeyi a nyoma omampani na adodankwa akufuado ene Nay George Under, Member of Parliament, egu akwan mu a ebi aka Awutu Senya no na me ka sɛ obotomu ye fan a bawade ye krabo eso abrache for so many years na baby a yegya nan ko ebi ni ho eye open defecation. George Under at the toilet facility abaho open ka ye bi school na mo friend fee obrache junction to secondary school omo fan crofon feature san se kwana say ya ene de eye enfie bebre asem abra ye bonto ano okan senya me ya dom ne de tumi ne mana obrache junction to obrache secondary school obe fixe obe ma ya gunukota amanfo bebre anje na ntomo obrache esan se no mo fi se cabinet minister no ne krom ni obrache enje ono po na wantimi anye na MP na me adom ende ye kwa no hu ye coveter to Omanpening, Nene Road Minister, to Member of Parliament. Yeah, they call Obrache Secondary School. And then Old Student Association, FRSA, indeed, we need a Juma Omogren. At a Juma, no, you can't almost say, about a year to know. Who say what kind of other than quick before? Why can't name George Under, but Taiwan Casa? Who? Or Dachi, no more for Dachi, and the account. And yet, did
Ekobi wo MPP amanyoko ni mo yi omutie pie wo mo de a wo ya ne se wo mo nenam a wo mo echeche manfo sede afimpinu ni aduani wo mbeto aba na enkoba se wo mo ko mbetintim ni basabasa nti wo mo kire wo manfo no se wo mbeto aba de ama MPP amanyoko no ena wo mo se wo mo hwe ni mu se beto aba ne bewie no na emrahye bedwa akonwa no wo nkranman temase no be se aduasa nan no no matimi enyamu be se aduanu enan 24 seat e de ama party no
Every Jana do na Gani Kokoto aba ema no bi essay. Odwen ho a wonte ase eno NCCE MPP amayukono ema ni bi afa atomo se aka be bosome kakra ekwakoto abaidie. Ombe cheche Ghana fo mukwen be fa so beto aba no ya ema no bi enseye. Omo ahyase ewo enkraha. Na omo akoma so ade ne se MPP amayukono ebenya enkunwa ne beye aduonu enai 24 seats ewo enkraha na aboa momutumi akọ animu yi pa.
Ghana fo na anya make my name say the Wabugu family say the Wabugu family of MPP say you reduce the sport ballots our Greater Accra and all the nation. The number is 1. Don't get it twisted from north to south. It is 1. Nanado and says you free anoma ye call Amasamai constituency ye free Amasamaya ye beko Okakwe enough ye call Ladadi Kotopon ye guso sa na ye 4 constituencies the next day so say you cover all the 34 constituencies in Greater Accra. Nenim say education we go down well with all Ghanaians. Naya to Yabanama, Nanado, and 60% coming 7 December.
Na oko ayawa so north about some pesua so a opanyina wogina ede ama NPP amayuku no Owura Mohammed Osman so ani abra wo bonto a wonu UTV akasa kire mu se wo hwe ne ma wodo NPP aban aye na twafata se omoto aba ede ma NPP wa afi abatonim.
Nanado 2016 during the election wa promise bebre and is able to deliver. And yes, so on Ayawa North, and we'll make sure say we will capitalize on each achievement, to do more for the people. They deserve it. Ayawa North, your bread is enough. Zongo committee, your bread is enough for this deception. Say you are going to build mortuary for us. What we need now, and your mortuary. What we need any schools and quality education, not mortuaries or any other stuff, because it's just campaign strategy just to deceive people. What we are doing now here within Iowa Sonoff is rescue mission, and we are going to rescue Iowa Sonoff from mismanagement of NDC for the past 28 years.
National Commission for Civic Education NCCE womo ene One Ghana movement afei womo nyina akwa European Union achi ye ba beto aba na NCCE womo eheda eye womo enhwehwemu sanhwehwemu no na Ghana fo ekwan a womo fa so ato aba nioma womo hwe hede ato aba womasua ye ka apomuden ene mpuntuo ahodo a wogina so de ato aba no womo de report no aba bontin.
159 pages. Ya Ghana for atre when he has a more one. And some are yet king. Eba shade nan saying, enti a bunny biaba. O shenenzi ya obeya, obetumezi here some middle, ama hen. Enti ye jiz there, here some ya yerking, another here book here, report here, launching in day, on ya casa, on ya zama or ya casa keke. Name woman, ye bo there, a bunny biaba badon, Sisian strategies, 9 interventions, and obeshade, obezidwa, obezigana for here some ama hen. Yanso, ye babway or send the document. Why the assessment tool into intervention another program be above government ban yabeshe said today yakade government issue educational binom kade or pede education and why any free from our friend then primary all the way to tertiary tibeshe there ana as no ya oze ejuma oze our friend then education and obema why any free amon
Ghanaians seem to be trusting all in all the institutions in charge to conduct the election. The Electoral Commission, first of all, but also the others. This is also important, and it is important that Ghanaians continue to support the institutions in their effort to organize free, fair, and credible elections, and most of all, that both the Ghanaians, the politicians, the candidates, focus on the issues that are of interest to Ghanaians. Today we heard about health, education, employment. It's been so for many, many years now, rather than on, attacking each other, accusing each other. I think what matters for Ghanaians is the issues that have an impact on their life, and politicians should listen.
And NCCE for research, no more than Nyama baby, PP, a woman, Obia, any role, say, oh yeah, send me kind of a constitution. NCCE, dear no more than it, I was a Ghana phone na a shabby, no more Shanyama, a woman who said, ya, ombe, sham at the advice on the way forward.
Afe yanko atoye mantemwe nano jwada ade aposifo nyina wo mo hyeda bodwa eka nka yedum hede ma aposifo a na wo mo ye adwuma no mo fa mu toye etu ode asi wa afi bia wo ye atoye mantempo osisahene ede ato Ghanafo nyina anim se ye ba beto aba enye basabasa na se ntokwa na ye ba beko ye hwe na asomdwe emra abra ye to abai.
Police for 9 na afi we say mo matwero mo nkwan e watoye mantemu ebra no mo ye adwuma e de asom Ghana. Constable say Amankwa Francis Sergeant Frank Dugbe, Corporal Nicholas Doku, and Lance Corporal Abdullahi. Posi penyin owo atoye mantemu. DCOP Felix Fosu Agyeman, edit to UTV enimu essay. Ebi enya akwanhia ne bi nso akromfo ena di tu bo momo ewuye. Wase afi abanu posifo behwe ama asumdwe akosopa. Wade nse wetu dwa ebra na posifo watoye mantemu edi omo eda.
As we solemnly reflect on this day, personnel in the Western region will continue to work very hard to provide maximum security for the good people of Western region. I wish to entreat the general public to continue to be vigilant and volunteer credible information that will lead to the arrest of criminals in the communities. The Western Regional Police Command will do everything possible to ensure peaceful elections in the Western region on 7 December 2020. And therefore, I want to remind all persons in the Western region to stay away from violent situations before, during, and after the elections on 7 December 2020.
Western Regional Coordinating Director Nekasaye Edi Emma Western Regional Minister.
It's good that the state recognizes the sacrifices made by public officers. So we do commend the police administration for the occasion. But of course, police officers and men, their passing is a sacrifice. And for undertaking to sacrifice for the state of Ghana to protect life and property, this should ginger you on the more. But as members of the public, security and public safety is a shared responsibility. We have to be self-disciplined in the first place. We must cooperate with the security services in order that we can be safe. To request for the repose of the souls of our brothers, and that the families have done a very good made a very good contribution to the Republic of Ghana, and we thank them all.
Afeya to akase bono eso ana labor migration we eye enwuma sade yesi fa nkrofo free omaimu hede ko amanone e mo mokọ ye adwuma ebi wo ho mokọ enye ye bi won so a wo mokọ na esi wonum eye na ho hyehyeye a fimpinu ni aduonu ba ko wode be ye adwuma no eno na empanimfo ahyeda asi ehun konwa a wode saa hyehyeye ni nyina ato apono so.
Sa enanse dwumadi a eba so wo Akosua eye apuemanta mu no yade a edi nipa bi a wo fi Employment and Labor Relation Ministry enafe Interior Ministry no ne Foreign Affairs Ministry ni nyina bebo mu a worehwe okwan a National Labor Immigration Policy no wobetutu niema ye na wode adi dwuma eyi na bera UTV insentrofo chuben ononyafo Ema Ofuri Agyemana oye Director Order Employment and Labor Relation Ministry na no twetwen enkomo na ochirimusi
Enedwumadie mbotae nyina ne se yebete emra na se policy a yefre no se labor migration policy na se ye wo ministry Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations no ya said ne se yebehwe se waka bia fa ahudie yentietia so ne sa noma no ene se pepepe yebeba sa akwanya ne nyina mu nti policy we egina homa enhyehyeye a ebi diko pedwuma ewo amanfo froso na ebi nso eba krom ha e de be pedwuma enhyehyeye bi wo ho amra kwan so internationally e kire se wo se ye de to ho eno na over the years ye develop ya ye de ato ho a enne de ye pese stakeholders nyina ate ase
ho hia se bibi sa amra. This is because we here Ghana ha inkrofo bebre pe akwanto na so bebre nim de esi wo be bia wo moko no obi wo ho na obi abeka che no se mi pese mi bua wo na entu kwan ko US ana UK ana Germany mra ni pa kro no onim de besi wo ho obi wo ha ni nkrata po na ye ni na afa desert no so enti most of the time oni pa no ko do ho wi a na ni ho akochiri no na afi wa frɛ sɛ o se Ghana government omboa no yemfa no mra enti this document no na ehun hia se ebe ma ye as a guideline said ebe ya ye betimi a protect ye nkrofo na omotuto kwan.
Entered into collaboration with the Labour Ministry in August 2018. We signed a memorandum of understanding on the areas of labour migration and reintegration support that can make us proud on what we have achieved today, and that functions as a very solid and maybe also a visionary guideline for our works and all our institutions, and together to address the matter in question and to bring labor migration in Ghana to a level where we can say yes. It's supportive of the development of the country, it's supportive to the development of the migrants, and it brings benefits to all parties involved and minimizes the risks.
Director of Communications ewo mampanyi atena ye Ora Eugene Ahe na ye ka se wakopie mu ewo Mfantseman constituency ho no wode enwoma ahodo bi ekoche MPP amanyoko ne ma won mo ho se de be ye obetimi abontoa ye ka se Mfantseman MP ana owo ho anka ogina no na emimfo bi ekokun no nti sabre ne yire na wo kwa kogina nti no na nam so a otu sa anamon
yi party chairman parliamentary candidate and constituency for in our way share and pay. Easy Yamban Bon na Anna yeah secretary was summarized BBR there. You're currently 19 seats out of 23. Now it wouldn't be right there we lose any of the seats in the run up to the 2020 elections. I mean President Debia there. So we win a banner say parliament that's a Nimkofuno. Definitely the mandate he has now, it wouldn't be as strong as he would want it to be. So whatever it is we can do to make sure that Mfantseman we retain the seat and we make sure that Mami Ophelia becomes the next member of parliament for Mfantseman, we are going to do it. Kaka Yazubeni na ana can assure you me communications director so edin komokaka nti at this big kakra to me so yami aduma ebe but I mean I can assure you there baby I mean feel easy definitely whatever we can do to make sure that this constituency continues to remain a stronghold of the new patriotic parties yebe that's it
awe sinde mayeru honende oyemo Mr. Ahen Martinizin Mukun Bonizin Chum. Okay, Chem, ni posters are why man. He told me. And I'm boys a born. Nana minim there. Obedi sender to me. Now I bro my wire man. Honorable Eko Kwanza here for the late. Mr. Ahen, Menkasapi, you could see there I'm short of words. I'm overwhelmed. But I'm kind there. That's it. Da semi si inja ejejem abeta echi ma ye no obrohen mi gina mon krofo nyine anem ye hye obode ye ma onye kwa de ye som ne ye zi na ya da ye be ye dwumazen na come December 7th ye zin kunyimzin frankan ye ze boto ya na mo wake bia ayaka ho amahe ye da se
Nananom ahemfo bia ye from Council of Inner City Tribal Chiefs and Queen Mothers awomo ewo omayimu woma bankramantam say ababehie nka ne mampanyi John Dramani Mahama na bra omuhia no ne nsem a wode etu edwa ene se abato komisanye se bia NDC amanyokuo no womo wo ye na adwuma enu ntia wo so omo so ye omo de no omo bɔ no so se de be ye adwuma na wo ye no obetimi aye no aye ne yie na nya de amanyokuo no womo etano kwan bia so.
Since the EC was set up in 1992 and conducted its first election, it has had people who have gained experience over the years. This is going to be our 8th election. It has conducted 7 elections successfully. And the changes in the EC have always been minimal. One person retires, the president appoints somebody to replace him. But there are others there who have the institutional memory. And so even though a new person has joined, they still have the competence to be able to carry on. At another point, another person has retired, the person has been replaced. This is the first time we've had a situation where the whole top of the EC has been cleared. And 3 new people brought in who have never managed an election in their life. And so if you notice in the build-up to the election, they keep making mistakes. But then we, at the political parties, we've contested every election since independence. We know the evolution of elections in this country and why we have gotten where we are. That Ghana is seen as having one of the best electoral machineries in the whole of Africa. So if you come in as new people, you might not have run an election, but if you are prepared to learn, you'll be able to run a successful election. But it turns like our parties have rather become the enemy of the EC, to the extent that one commissioner says that our party is a danger to democracy in Ghana, and he's still having his job. I mean, this is clear animosity towards one party. You're supposed to be a neutral arbiter. That statement should have never come from his mouth. Unfortunately, civil society is asleep, the media is asleep, so it's made it look like NDC is one troublemaker, who hates the EC. We don't hate the EC. We know that the EC doing its work competently is a major fundamental basis for peace in our country. And that's why we try to put pressure on them to make sure that they're doing the right thing, so that in future nobody will have cause to complain that these things were not brought to their attention.
Abusia pram to breka se ebo na wo share ewo UTV so yenya boafo nkrato emra ye bape na ye de agudie mu nsem ato amoso.